In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 self-improvement podcasts. These are podcasts that I've listened to for the last couple of years that have truly helped shape the mindset that I have today. Let's get started. Before I get into the top 5 podcasts, I just want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Santiago. Welcome to Strategic Mindset, the YouTube channel designed to help you become the best version of yourself. I will be posting videos every single Wednesday and Saturday, all on personal development, just overall educational lifestyle videos that allow you to become the best version of yourself. All these videos are geared towards things that I have gone through myself and just overall sharing with you guys what's worked for me and what I've learned through other people's content, just like this one episode where I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 podcasts that have helped me shape the mindset that I have today. So let's get started. Starting at number 5, the Becoming Great podcast. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have actually not heard of this podcast before. Even the way that it was introduced to me was random. I was on TikTok, which I'm never on TikTok, but I was on TikTok on the Explore page, and randomly I saw this one guy's video, and the way that he talked, his energy in the video, it just captivated me right away. And he was talking about how to set goals in 2020. And something about that video just made me want to look at more of his videos. And from there, I realized that he had a podcast. The Becoming Great podcast is hosted by Eric and Emil. These two individuals are very inspirational, very motivating. And what I really like about this podcast is that 100% of the proceeds that they get from this podcast actually goes towards charities. So they actually don't keep any of the revenue that comes in from the podcast. And one of my favorite episodes on their podcast is all about how to stop overthinking and really believe in yourself. This one episode really grabbed me, and from there I just got hooked. I started watching all of their other podcasts. And it's really cool to see how they not only focus on business, but as well as just the mindset of success and how to just overall become a better person, which is practically what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel as well. I do recommend you guys go check them out. They're not really known that much and they don't really post too many episodes. So I hope that if this video gets any traction and more people go check them out. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the Yes Theory podcast. Now, this is a very biased choice on my part because they only just started this last year and I didn't even realize I was wearing their merch. The Yes Theory podcast is a podcast that truly did surprise me, even though they only have 1 season out. I don't know if you guys know them, but Yes Theory is actually a YouTube channel where these guys go by the motto of seek discomfort, where practically what they try to do is continuously get out of their comfort zone into experiencing life in a different way. And I was introduced to them a couple years ago by one of my best friends. He told me about them and I watched a couple of their videos, but I wasn't really hooked. And then it wasn't until last year when we got hit with our first lockdown during the pandemic where I literally sat in my room for about 3 weeks and watched every single one of their episodes from beginning to end. And I was hooked. As soon as they mentioned that they were going to start a podcast, I was like a little fangirl. I was so excited for this opportunity to get a different type of content from them. My favorite episode from theirs is How to Chase Your Dreams. And the reason why I chose this episode out of all the other ones is because last year I really focused on chasing my dreams. That at the end of last year to beginning of this year and for the years to come, all I was going to be doing was focusing on chasing my dreams, fulfilling all of my goals and everything that I'm trying to achieve in my life. So this episode actually opened my eyes to the opportunity and the possibility of really making that happen, even when things seem impossible. Now let's get into the third top podcast in my list, and that is going to be Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory. Now, if you had an opportunity to watch my Why I Started YouTube video, I do recommend you guys go check that out. But if you got an opportunity to watch that, you'd know that Tom Bilyeu was one of my first ever mentors when it came to building a positive mindset and just overall looking at my life in a different way rather than focusing on my past and all the negatives that I had back then. He was a guy that really woke me up and made me believe in myself, and his podcast has really changed my way of thinking. And my favorite episode is his episode with David Goggin, How to Make Yourself Immune to Pain. Now, if you guys don't know who David Goggin is, I also recommend you guys go check his stuff out. I literally listened to this podcast and instantly thought about buying his book because his story and what he really puts out as a message to individuals is just really inspiring. But going back to why this is my top favorite podcast, it's really awesome to see how he just dives deep into each of his guests' stories and how they can just overall create a positive message from everything that they talked about in this podcast. So I do recommend you guys go check them out. Now coming in at number 2 is On Purpose by Jay Shetty, which has actually been nominated as the number 1 podcast in the world. But I have it as number 2, but you guys will see exactly why when I get to number 1. But On Purpose is a phenomenal podcast. Again, all these podcasts are geared towards the same type of message in terms of living a better lifestyle and just overall having a positive mindset towards your life, believing in yourself, investing in yourself, and becoming the best version of yourself, which is all about this channel. And my favorite episode of Jay Shetty's On Purpose is the 3 ways to let go of society's expectations and connect with your authentic self. This episode is really, really, really important if you're trying to cancel out the outside noise, which is something that we've talked about in a lot of my old videos. And coming in at number 1 is The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes. Now, the reason why this is my all-time favorite podcast when it comes to self-improvement is because, to be honest with you guys, this podcast is one of many reasons that inspired me to creating this YouTube channel. The message that Lewis shares through his podcast about trying to help people live a fulfilled and happy life is a message that I also want to carry on and be able to share with other people. This is a podcast that I honestly listen to almost religiously every single week because the message that he gives out, not only with his guests, but just overall with the topics that he talks about, is really inspiring and motivating. So I'm not gonna lie, some of these episodes that I've even created on my YouTube channel were inspired through his podcast and were things that I learned and applied from his podcast. Now, when it comes to a favorite episode, I don't really have one specific favorite episode. To be honest, they're all really good episodes, and what you can really expect from all of these episodes is to get the message of living a happier and more fulfilled life. If there is one episode that I can recommend you guys go watch, it's the one with Bob Proctor where they talk about how to manifest abundance. Now, I can go through a whole spiel on how amazing Bob Proctor is, but I will actually be doing a video on Bob Proctor on Wednesday. So if you guys are interested in watching that, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that upload. But that's about it for today's video. That completes my top 5 self-improvement podcasts. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.